Shortly after your baby was born, he was rushed to the neonatal intensive care unit. And after a little while, one of the doctors comes over to you and says, you know what? Your baby suffered hypoxia. And as a result of that, your child may have some brain injury. And you ask, what's hypoxia? You want to learn the answer? Come join me as I share with you this great information. Hi, I'm Gerry Oginski. I'm a New York medical malpractice and personal injury trial lawyer practicing law here in the state of New York. Hypoxia means a lack of oxygen or a decreased amount of oxygen. When that occurs, the real question is, for how long did that condition exist? Because depending upon how long the baby went with a decreased amount of oxygen, that can, in some instances, cause permanent brain injury. Now, there's another word you should be familiar with as well. If the doctors use a term known as anoxia, it means lack of oxygen, total lack of oxygen. And again, if you hear that term, you have to ask the question, for how long a period of time did the baby go with a total lack of oxygen? Many times they won't be able to answer that question, but it's still something you need to ask. And why is that? Because there are certain obstetrical emergencies, certain obstetrical conditions that can cause anoxia. For example, when the placenta separates from the uterus, now there's no longer a communication between mom and the baby in the uterus. And now the baby's not getting a fresh blood supply. And as a result of that, there's no oxygen getting to the baby. If that condition goes on for a period of time without being recognized, now it's possible that the baby can suffer significant brain injury as a direct result of not getting any oxygen. That's known as anoxia. But if you heard the term hypoxia, it means the baby has had some type of compression of the cord, for example, or there might be some other key reason why there's a decreased amount of oxygen going to the baby. And now the question becomes, for how long did that condition exist, and did the doctors know and recognize that in a timely fashion? So why do I share this great information with you? I share it with you because if you hear those words being used during the course of your hospitalization, and now a doctor tells you, listen, we think your baby has brain injury as a result of decreased amount of oxygen or a lack of oxygen, now you know when they use those medical terms, hypoxia and anoxia, you have a better understanding of what that means. You know, I realize you're watching this because you have questions or concerns about your own particular matter. Well, if your matter happened here in New York and you do have legal questions, what I encourage you to do is pick up the phone and call me. I can answer your legal questions. You know, this is something I do every single day and I'd love to talk to you. You can reach me at 516-487-8207 or by email at Gerry, G-E-R-R-Y, at oginski-law.com. That's it for today's quick video. I'm Gerry Oginski. Have a great day.